balls of steel, you know? Also, why does he always look so bedraggled? I don't care. Cause what a little bitch. Well, hello, welcome back to my channel. Joshana here to talk about episode 7 of House of the Dragon. Driftmark is the name of the episode, I believe. I'm gonna start this right off with just letting everyone know I still hate Alicent and Sir Criston. And I'm sorry if that is very upsetting for you and you would like to yell at me about it. I don't care. I realize that I am very bombastic, expressive. I rant. A lot of people are probably viewing just these videos and don't know me and know my channel. That is just how I speak about things that I feel strongly about, fictional characters and things. And it seems, though, that several people are taking it as a personal attack. I promise it's not. If you feel differently than I do about any of these characters or situations, and I am ranting about how I feel, I'm not attacking you personally. You don't need to turn around and try to attack me. I saw a couple of tweets that I was like, ooh, this is perfect for how I feel. So I need to share, okay? Regarding Alicent, I saw this one that I said, yes, that is exactly. Alicent's character is actually amazing and so real because it represents perfectly those religious people who claim to defend morals and decency, but in reality they're the most hateful and resentful, the ones who do the most harm to others. That therein lies my major issue with this character and why I fucking hate her. I don't like her. And then everyone on the show, just like Game of Thrones, they're all kind of bad. Yeah, so there's bad people on both sides of anything in the Game of Thrones world and A Song of Ice and Fire world. And certainly even within this show, most of them at this point have done something sort of bad or to be frowned upon, if not outright horrific. And if they haven't yet, they are probably going to, if we are following the book closely at all, which thus far we have been. So even characters that I love, some of them have already done terrible things, and some of them I know are going to do really horrific things in the future. And that's kind of the whole point of the show, is these are all just kind of terrible people in power being shitty to each other in the pursuit of power. And Chris, over at Chris's Bookish Cauldron, had a thread going with someone, and he said, yeah, everyone is a bad person. That's why we watch. But the Greens are bad people in a way that's insufferable. And I said, hell yes, exactly. Exactly. I personally find Alicent and Otto and Sir Criston and ass fucking Cole to all just be insufferable, all right? Again, I'm sorry if that upsets you and you disagree with me. That's okay. You don't have to agree with me at all. It's just truly not that deep, you know? It's a fucking TV show. Anyway, moving into episode 7, which was what a fucking time. What a fucking episode. My God. I want to start off with saying too, I'm still mad, man, about the change they made with I guess in the book, I don't recall entirety of Daemon and Laena's marriage being described or anything like that, but certainly the beginning of their courtship and their marriage, I'm just still so mad that we didn't get to see that, because if I had followed the book at all, it was described that he fell in love with her immediately on a trip to Driftmark, and she was betrothed to someone else, but her family didn't like him and kept putting off the marriage, the actual wedding, because they were just like, dude, this guy sucks. And Daemon shows up and falls in love with Laena immediately and just keeps antagonizing the betrothed until he challenges Daemon to a duel, which Daemon easily wins and kills the dude. And I'm like, man, that would have been so cool to see. Hello? And then also, I had forgotten, but I went and looked up something else, and I saw it on the Wiki of Fire or whatever it is, that Daemon and Laena did go to Dragonstone a fair amount while they were married, and Rhaenyra and Laena were besties. They were so close. I'm like, that would have been so nice to see. I still have my issues a bit with the time jumps and what they're choosing to show and not show. I get that they have a lot to pack in to get to the point of now the Dance of the Dragons is starting. But I just wish they would have expanded it a little bit. They don't have to show every single thing. I understand that. And I'm not saying I wanted them to stay with the entirety of those 10 years, but just something of the earlier stages and something of Rhaenyra and Laena being really close. That would have been cool. I don't know. I did have one thing in the beginning of this episode where I was very confused and I didn't quite understand what was going on. When Laenor is standing in the ocean just crying after the funeral, like at the like wake type thing they had going on, and Corlys sees him standing there and like loses his shit and goes and tells Carl, like, go get your patron. Ugh! He's like so mad. And I was like, what? Why is he so fucking livid right now? Like, just cause he wasn't there? Cause he wasn't there at the like wake thing? That's all I could come up with. I was like, maybe just cause he's not doing the proper thing and like being present for this, but yeah, he just like lost his shit. I was like, well, sir, he's sad. He's crying in the ocean. Like, his sister died. Otto Hightower, God, I wrote Otto blech. Also, why does he always look so bedraggled? Good God, sir, like, get a haircut or I don't know, because it's like, whew, just, his little wispy hair is just all over the place. Fucking died, as everyone did. Well, not everyone, I suppose, but I was dying laughing when Viserys called Alicent Aemma. But that was another moment, too, where I was a bit confused when the Lord Commander of the Kingsguard was like, do you want me to stay with Queen Alicent? And he's like, nah, leave her be, come with me. And then the Lord Commander is like, Kristen Cole, like, Sir Kristen, you have the night watch or whatever the fuck. Like, you gotta watch the Queen. And I was very confused by that because he is her, like, bodyguard. We've seen him in the last episode, like, standing guard outside her door and escorting her around. So that seems like that would be the normal thing. Like, he would take her. So I didn't even know why the Lord Commander was, like, offering that. And then when he's like, all right, Sir Kristen, you got it. And then they walk off, and Kristen is like, Lord Commander. All like, what the fuck? And I was like, I don't understand why Kristen would have anything to say about this and why this is, like, that's the norm. Again, he's like her bodyguard, right? He's like her sworn protector. And we've seen him doing that over and over again. He's always with her. I was just, yeah, I don't know. I found that odd. I don't know if I just missed something. Watched it twice, but whatever. Also, I was one of the people, this was something that Chris said on Twitter, like, y'all need to turn your brightness up on your TVs. I did. I turned my brightness up to 100%, and holy shit, I could not see. The whole, like, nighttime, dusk, twilight fucking lighting they had going on, I literally couldn't fucking see shit. And, like, the whole thing where Aemond is sneaking up on Vhagar, and then he's, like, reaching for the ropes, when I was watching someone's reaction, their brightness was up enough that I could see it. I could see the ropes. When I was watching it both times, again, with my TV turned all the way up on the brightness, I could just kind of see a hand, and that he was, I gathered, like, oh, he must be trying to reach for the rope to climb up into the saddle, but I couldn't actually fucking see the ropes or anything. I was sitting there like, oh my God, squinting so bad. So that was fucking annoying. I wrote, this lighting is absolute fucking ass. So, I just was squinting the whole time. That was very annoying. As much as I dislike Aemond for the rest of the episode, you can't deny that he had some balls of steel, just sneaking up on Vhagar like that, and then hopping on. Like, Vhagar is the oldest living dragon, by far the biggest living dragon, like, by far. And you're just gonna creep up on her in the dunes and then just be like, nah, don't burn me. I'm gonna ride you. Balls of steel, you know? And I did really like that scene of him flying on Vhagar, and, you know, the cinematography was great. The moonlight and all that shit. Like, that one scene, you know what I'm talking about? Where from underneath and we saw the dragon wings. It's my impression of Vhagar. And then my next note is, haha, little punk lost his eye, LOL. 'Cause what a little bitch. Just, like, sir, you walk up all like, yeah, you did have balls of steel, but you walk up being rude as shit and being like, well, your mom's fucking dead. Like, excuse you, what did you think was gonna happen? You didn't think she was gonna want some retribution for you just snatching up the dragon that she was going to try to claim. And then he's like, well, you should have claimed it then. Bitch, I was a little busy having a funeral for my mom. Like, huh? I just, like, what? The logic of him being like, well, you snooze, you lose. Like, and then, yeah, you're going to get punched, dude. Obviously. And then, yeah, that whole little fight, these kids, oh my God. And for a minute when they were just beating the shit out of him, I was like, fuck yeah. Get him. Get him! And I just, yeah, okay, I'll get into that. Alicent has lost her mind in that whole thing. When she's like, he brought a knife to the fight. He meant to kill my son. That's a lot of speculation, girl. That is a lot of speculation. I don't think it's dumb for one of these kids, and he's the heir. He's in line to be king one day. And going out at night, his cousin's like, somebody stole the dragon. Like, let's go investigate. Just us kids. Probably a good idea to grab a weapon because you don't know who it was, what's going on. It's nighttime. Got a bunch of very important people with you. You're an important person. Like, yeah, he's going to have a knife. Why are you jumping to this fucking accusation and conclusion that he was going to kill my son? When in fact, your son was the one holding a fucking rock about to bash the other one's head in. Who was trying to kill who? Huh? I'm sorry? What? And then just the fucking, good God, an eye for an eye, quite literally. Like, girl, you are out of your fucking mind. And then, yeah, she just was having a mental breakdown, obviously. Like, girl was at her fucking wit's end, obviously. And when Viserys is just like, nah, we're not doing that. And then she's like, well, if you don't, then I will. And Kristen is like, what? And she's like, you're sworn to me! Ah! Like, just losing her mind. Jesus Christ. Another qualm that I have, I think I mentioned it in the last episode, I can't remember if I did or not in the video, but is that the changes they're making with Daemon as, like, a husband and a father. Because there was a whole scene that they cut out in the last episode of him consoling his daughters after Laena's death, and they cut that out. I'm like, why? That would have been really nice, and instead all we got was them crying, watching the burned remains of their mother, and Daemon just kind of being like, oh, and like walking off. Why could we not have seen him giving them a fucking hug or some shit? Like, that would have been cool. And then in this episode, that whole scene in the hall, like, his daughters had just gotten in a fight, and he's just chilling, watching. And granted, I know that the grandparents, that Corlys and Rhaenys were there, like, consoling the girls, but... And, like, I feel like he could probably see that they hadn't been cut or, you know, stabbed or mortally wounded or even really seriously wounded. Probably visually could have seen that. But, like, I just wish we could see him at least checking on them real quick. You know what I mean? Like, they were good. They had Grandma and Grandpa standing there with them. And I get that Rhaenyra was by herself with her kids, so he was more concerned with her once shit, you know, broke out. And he ran over to Rhaenyra's side because she was in more need of some support, obviously. But, like, I wish why couldn't we have him just walk over to just, hey, are we good? You girls good? You know, some quick little, I'm confirming that my daughters are okay and do not need me. And instead we get him just lounging about, and I don't know. I'm hoping they're going to show some more later, because I just don't buy that he would be that neglectful of a dad. With family, the way he is with family and everything, with his brother and I just don't buy that that's who he would be. Is this guy that's like, whatever, my kids are, I guess, over there. Like, what the fuck? And I was just so frustrated because after that whole thing and Alicent fucking attacks and physically harms the heir to the throne, which, you know, should result in death or at least imprisonment. I think most other kings would have reacted very differently, but again, it's very well established that Viserys is not exactly the strongest of kings, and he's not the most decisive, but like, and it's clearly everyone was like, holy shit. Rhaenyra was like, this bitch just cut me. Even Alicent, like, dropped the knife, like, oh, shit. I just did that. Oh, my God. And afterwards, when she's in her rooms or whatever, I'm like, God damn it. This could have been the moment. This whole thing could have been the moment that, like, snapped her back to reality a little bit. and back to worrying about shit she should be worrying about. And maybe being smarter with this whole thing, because as I said in the last one, I just personally think she is antagonizing it and making the issue so much worse. Like, yes, her kids technically could be a challenge to the throne because of the people of the kingdom. Could be like, Aegon should be the king. But she could squash that shit. She could, like, nah. Rhaenyra is, we support Rhaenyra. She could raise her children to be close with their family, to be close with Rhaenyra, so that Rhaenyra would definitely not want to kill her fucking whole family, kill those kids. Like, Alicent could be doing all this if she was smart. Like, if she was like a Marjorie Tyrell type of character, she would do that. She would be smarter and see the long game and see that it makes more sense for me to, as her dad even said, cleave yourself to Rhaenyra. That's one of your options. She should have done that. And I think this could have been the moment of her being like, yeah, what in the fuck am I doing? I absolutely need to change my tactic here because this ain't working. Like, I'm not making things better, I'm making it worse. But goddamn it, her fucking dad is back. Like, she's sitting there being all like, I feel so terrible, I'm an idiot, that was so beneath me, I can't believe I did that. And her dad's like, no, good job, look at you, wow, you got some balls on you, don't you? I'm so proud. Like, fucking hell. And like, just making it worse all over again. So, making for some good TV, at least, right? The ending, for a minute there, I was like, oh, damn, here we go. Here's Rhaenyra starting to, you know, do some war crimes. And I legit, for a minute, like, was just like, oh, fuck, okay, they're doing it. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And then they didn't. In that final scene, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. Oh, yes, okay. And that is a change from the book that, I don't know, I think was a nice change. That was a nice change. Because Laenor is one of the few characters who I think you can say is just like a good person. Tries to be a good person. He's not some lunatic. He's not just out here so thirsty for power. He doesn't really care. He just wants to go have some adventures with his boyfriend and like live his life. And now he gets to do that. Love that for him. So those are really just, those are my thoughts. Oh yeah, I wanted to touch on Helaena. I mentioned before that she might be an interesting character, and I'm still curious to see what they're going to do. But did you guys pick up on, if you read the book, you would have picked up on it because you knew what was going to happen. But in the last episode, in episode 6, with the whole pink dread thing, and he goes crying to Alicent when Helaena is in the room with her, and she's like holding that like bug or whatever the hell, and she's like speaking in riddles, mumbling to herself. And Alicent tells Aemond, you will have a dragon one day. And then right then cuts to Helaena saying he will have to close an eye. And that's what she was talking about. So pretty sure she's a dragon seer, or like a green seer, or some kind of seer. She can see into the future. So that's fun, and I'm curious how much they'll like delve into that in the future. I mean, they showed her again like muttering stuff that I feel like we know what she's talking about, but I just don't know how much they're gonna like really focus on that or explain it further, or if it's gonna become a thing of like they're utilizing that or not. I don't know. I'm curious to see what they'll do with that though. And I know there's gonna be, I think, the final time jump in episode 8. I was saying before I wasn't sure if there was gonna be one in 7 and in 8 or just in 8, but there is gonna be one in 8. And so we're going to get the child actors aged up, like different actors for them. So I'm excited for that. I'm curious to see what they're going to show or not show. I saw someone on Twitter say that the time jump is supposed to be 6 years in episode 8. So I'm very curious if they're going to show us anything of like right after Daemon and Rhaenyra's wedding or not, or if we're just going to start the episode 6 years later, like they did with the 10-year jump. I don't know. Very curious what they do and how they do it and how I feel about it. Let me know what your thoughts were on the episode if you feel like sharing. And like I said, I guess if you feel like trying to come at me, have at it. I'm just tired of it. It's just not that deep, man. I don't care to like actually get into a heated fucking argument about a TV show. And of course, you can just leave a little emoji if you want to say hi and make your presence known. but don't have anything further to add. As always, thank you so much for your time. Hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.